Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Michael Gill is here from the hit show House of Cards on Netflix, and we just talked about your personal background and everything. Is fascinating.
Yeah.
So let's get into sort of how your journey into acting started. What happened? You go to high school and.
Yeah, my father was a musician, my mom was an artist, and they wanted me to be in the arts.
Oh, so they were creative people.
They're very creative.
Yeah.
And when I was 4, my best friend was Isaac Stern's son, Michael.
Okay.
And at some point, I was diagnosed with a good ear.
Right.
And I was sort
Perfect pitch.
Yeah,
right?
and I was put into this thing of music, and my teacher was Yo-Yo Ma's father, and Yo-Yo Ma was a little older than me, and I was just
on
a little
violin. You started on violin.
I started on violin, and I just was not good. I really didn't know, and I was a perfectionist and all this stuff. So I'd listened for my mistakes, and I just wasn't going to be able to deal with it.
Yeah, that sounds
and the
like
pressure was too much. It was too much.
Yeah,
it was too much pressure. Whoops, from an early age. It was just so
that world.
But I was in it for years and years, and I did art for years and years. And then I finally decided, because I'd been doing some theater here and there, I just thought, you know what, this is something neither of my parents know.
Right.
I like it. I'm good at it, and I'm going to try this. So,
okay.
And I found my way in a field that really all they could do was just go, that's good.
Yeah.
They couldn't say do it this way or that way. I was just completely on my own. So I did that, and I went to boarding school, and I was forced to do a couple of plays, and I really liked it.
You went to boarding school in
Switzerland.
England.
In Switzerland. A British boarding school in Switzerland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And
what's that like?
It was a great school.
Yeah.
It was a great outward bound sort of school. What they were mostly interested in was kids getting out with backpacks and tents and going hiking on the weekends and really getting an idea of what that was like. That was
I can't gauge with the British boarding school thing is not the education part, but like the fellow students. Is it a tough place to be? Is it like fights going on and gangs?
Well,
like,
this is the
what's
thing.
it like there?
Yeah, or is it
Public
like
school
Hogwarts?
is bad news.
Right.
The English public school was really bad news. There's a school in Scotland called Gordonston, where all the royals go. The guy who started our school wanted to make it a gentler, kinder experience without the royal crap. And so he opened the school up. And so it had the same sort of model of outward bound, get out there and be a little rougher. And academics, absolutely, but really go smell the roses a little bit. And so there wasn't a lot of fight. We had a headmaster who was pretty tough, and he said, if you want to fight, you come fight me. And so that really discouraged a lot of people from
sounds like it.
Yeah.
And did you act there?
Yeah, I did a couple of plays in French and in English, and it was great fun. And when I got out and I went to Tufts for a year, thought I was going to study languages and international relations.
So
and
you came back here, Boston.
Went to Boston,
Tufts, right?
and I just wasn't happy. So I decided on a lark to audition for a summer workshop at the Royal Academy in London.
Okay.
Got in, did it. The day I got there, the first day, I just knew that this is something I wanted to learn.
It's a hell of a lark.
It was a
Royal Academy.
Yeah, I know, but it was that sort of eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
And I knew that this is what I wanted to study. I wanted to know everything about theater. I was totally hooked.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now you leave there, and what happens?
So I tried to get into their program, their 3-year program, and they wouldn't let me. But I was on a callback list for them, and I came back to New York to visit my folks. And my grandmother said, "What about Juilliard?" And I said, "Juilliard, God, that's a music school." And she said, "No, I think there's a theater school." So I went by. They were holding auditions. And I went, "Can I audition?" And they said, "Well, fill it out." I went in, and I got in.
Wow.
And I never looked back. I just made more sense to be in the States, to work in the States. I was an American.
Again at Juilliard. Why look back?
I did not look back.
Yeah.
It was just 4 years of complete immersement in
How long did it take you to start making a living after you get out of Juilliard?
Well, it was hard. It was hard. So I had a lot of good support from my dad, which was very helpful. But I always worked. I always worked in the theater. I just worked. So I was able to do that. But really, it's taken a long time.
It took, what was your first break, you'd say?
Well, my first break, basically it was all along just doing theater, and managing to survive. And honestly, House of Cards is the biggest break
thing.
I have had.
Well,
You know,
It would be for a lot of people.
big
It is.
deal.
It is. It's been, it's a long journey of commitment, devotion, and going from paycheck to paycheck until suddenly something hits.
Wow.
Let's take another quick break, and again, House of Cards. When can we find it? Well, you just look it up on Netflix.
Netflix, it is there.
It's
all
there,
13,
yeah. Pretty
actually all
incredible.
26 episodes.
Want to take a break and talk to you a little bit about Kevin Spacey.
Oh, yeah.
Him, and we'll wrap it up with Michael Gill after this. Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Michael Gill is here. You can see on the House of Cards on Netflix.
Huge show.
Oh yeah, as big as it gets. And I was just watching Usual Suspects the other day, and he's obviously thinking Kevin Spacey about all the stuff he's done. He's just really one of our finest actors of the last 50 years. And the fact that Netflix, kudos to them for getting him to do a series. And what's it like working with him? Is there a process he goes through that affects the rest of you guys, or is it a pleasant situation?
Incredibly pleasant, focused,
Right.
so focused.
Yeah.
The guy has a lot going on. He's the artistic director of the Old Vic in London.
Yeah.
So
What does that mean?
Wow.
He's had that
He's
for
been
a
there
while.
for 10 years.
And what does that mean? He chooses the plays they're going to do?
He
and
runs the show.
Yeah.
He fundraises.
Right.
He's brought it back to life.
And he's the face of it.
He's the
right.
face of it. He directs. He acts in a show there as well.
So he'll act in one of them,
Yeah.
too. Okay, yeah.
And he'll direct them. He also took a show on the road for almost a year, Richard III,
That's
associated with the Old Vic, the project. So
Yeah, so he's got that.
He's got
Right.
that. Then he directs movies. He acts in movies. He does TV. He's an executive producer. He has Trigger Street that produces movies with his partner Dana Brunetti. They're just doing 50 Shades of Grey now. They did Captain Phillips. I mean. And
his company's producing the 50 Shades of Grey. Oh, okay.
And on top of it, he has his own foundation, which is devoted to young talent. And it's inspired by Jack Lemmon, his mentor. So the motto is send the elevator back down.
Right.
And so he's just doing all these things for these young actors and directors and writers. He acts in their movies, their shorts. He goes all over the world. I mean, you think, okay, so who else is doing that in our world all at once? And executive producer and acting in House of Cards.
And it becomes a huge hit. And I mean, now you. That being said, though, does that make him a stressful person to work with?
Not at all.
Yeah.
No, which is extraordinary.
Right.
I mean, I think obviously you reach a certain point in your life where you feel comfortable and confident, and he's been doing it so long. And
He
he's
does
so
seem
good.
like a confident guy. Like even when he has to do a bit they write for him at an award show, he seems like, I got this.
He's got it.
Right.
He's got it. He's good at it, and he is a joy to work with. And my
great.
wife is on the show.
I know.
Well.
I was going to say, what is that like?
That's just icing on. I mean, that is the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's
and
incredible.
we've worked on stage together for years, but to do this on camera, she plays my Secretary of State, which is like, you go home and you go, what? Really? How's that possible? Just before they say action, she's on the couch and I go, really? Now go sign that bill.
Well, you realize how lucky you are there, too, because that could be a nightmare, but it sounds great.
Oh, my God. Oh, it's great. And she's, so she has a bar. She's raised the bar for me anyway, and as a man and as an actor. So that's just there. So when I got to work with Kevin, it was like, this is what I'm familiar with.
Right.
And he is it. And he's fun. He likes to crack jokes. He's very good at what he does.
He can tell that, too. He does good
Dream
impressions.
big.
Oh, my God.
It sounds like the only problem you have is you're spoiled with it. Hopefully the next situation will be as good an
Oh,
experience.
my God. I don't know what I'll do.
But, listen, Michael, thanks so much for coming.
It was a total joy. Thanks, Artie.
This was a
Thank you,
pleasure, man, and continued success.
Thank you so
All right?
much.
Come back again.
Sure.
Michael Gill, House of Cards on Netflix. Back with the great Brian Jones.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.